As I mentioned, uh, prior to getting the marriage certificate after our wedding in Querétaro in February of 2022, it was a necessity to have that information translated in English. So I had to bring that marriage certificate back, official, and get it translated in English to present to the application form for permanent resident spouse sponsored out of country. So not only did that document need to be submitted, but other documents such as Rebecca's passport information, her national identity card, also written testimony from friends and family that know Rebecca, and also pictures of our ongoing relationship, not only wedding but previous, and dates stamped in passports. So it was a lot of information that was required just for the first step. Now, got that all done. I submitted, I think, in May because I had to wait for other information from Rebecca. But it got done. And so from there, we would hear back from that step. But in the meantime, I decided to go visit Rebecca, surprise her for her birthday in July of 2022. And so I made I tried to make the trek from Air Canada, but they canceled last moment, of course, during COVID, and didn't offer many solutions. They basically left it up to me and didn't really feel like they cared. They just left me to my own devices. So what I did was I hunted on Google. I found a flight, and I from Calgary to Dallas to Querétaro, and it was through American Airlines. So what I needed to do, the flight left at about, I think, probably around 10 or 11 in the morning. I drove down from Edmonton, which is, about 3 hours, given parking, and then valeted from the jet set parking to the airport. So, made good time, did everything that needed to be done, and so we went on our travel. And actually, I don't regret doing that at all. It's just opened up another avenue that I can use in the future of getting to Querétaro. So arrived in Querétaro. Of course, Rebecca was totally surprised and ecstatic that I was able to make her birthday, and so we celebrated. Went with the family and had a nice supper and everything like that. And then so we decided on doing some travels. So this will be one video that will contain one of our travels, and another video will be the second of the travel during July. The weather in Querétaro in July is very nice. It's not their typically it's not their hot season, so I mean it was between average of Edmonton in weather in regards to summer. It was like between 25 and 30, like just tolerable, and not searching for a pool all the time. Now, when Rebecca's mom gave us her car to use, so we traveled, taking the toll highways to our first destination. We went to Guanajuato, in the state of Guanajuato. And so, in Guanajuato, we actually made good time. We did the toll booths, like the toll highways. It's usually the safest way to go, so you usually stick to those. And yeah, so we arrived there. Checked into our Airbnb. It was fairly nice. Kind of in not the downtown, but very close to it. So we had to kind of ask a gentleman in regards to where to park. And of course, it's a bit of a side hustle for some people that find parking for you. So, I mean, whatever, it was just a few pesos. And so we packed our luggage, went up to the Airbnb. And at that time, Rebecca's cousin, Prima, Carla, and her husband Mamo and their kids were actually in Guanajuato. So we met them for lunch. We went for pizza and had a good visit, and they showed us around a little bit. So in Guanajuato, it's a beautiful city, vibrant with colors, and it's similar to Querétaro. It's kind of like, is surrounded by hills and mountains, and it's lovely and very historical. They started off with actually, well, I mean, Spain, of course, they had invested in silver mining there. So silver mining was huge, and that's where a lot of actually Guanajuato city has tunnels that you drive. So I think a lot of those tunnels were because they were already there, and traffic could go through those tunnels to get from one part of the city to another. Now, Guanajuato played a significant part in the Mexican Revolution, and so they it was one of the first ones that rose up and took at the time kind of like a Spanish fort. Um, there was a historical figure, um, Filipio, no, I can't pronounce it, but anyway, he was a gentleman that there's a big, huge statue that overlooks the city. We actually went up there and had a look and took some pictures. And so what he did was he took a big stone, placed it upon his back, so that the Spaniards couldn't pick him off with whatever gadgets they were using, like shooting at him or archers or anything like that. He had like a pail of tar, because it was made of stone. So the weakest part was actually the door, the wooden door. So what he did was actually painted the door with tar and then set it aflame to weaken. And so that's how the Mexicans overtook the Spaniards. And yeah, so that was a big part of Mexican history. We also went to the Mummies Museum. So, from what I understand, is that the Mummies Museum, it started when apparently there was a tax that was introduced. And so the tax of, kind of like using the grave sites or whatever, and that if people could not afford, or they defaulted on paying the tax, that the bodies were exhumed and placed, and a lot of them were already mummified or embalmed. And so they, all of a sudden, people were starting to look, and then so they started to request for payment to have a look at this, like a tour. Next thing you know, it turned into a museum. So that's how all that started, but it was very unique and different. I recommend it. It's part of their history, and so I would encourage you to go check out the Mummies Museum in Guanajuato. Now, Guanajuato is not totally flat, so if you have some walking issues or already a lot of the sidewalks are cobblestone and you need to pay attention where you're walking in. Actually, all parts of Mexico. So wear good shoes, and if you have any sort of ailments that Guanajuato may not be the city. It may be the city to visit, but not maybe the city to live in for you. Other things that we did in Guanajuato, the Red Stair. So this is a famous stair in an alleyway in Guanajuato, and it's the third stair of the incline starting up. And what happened, based on, from what I understand, is there was a well-to-do Spaniard whose daughter, Anna, was to be married to, she was only going to be the property of a wealthy Spaniard. And so, the father was very set in his ways on that. And then there was another gentleman whose name was Carlos. He was lack of a better term, a blue-collar worker and miner in the town there, who Anna found attractive. So, from my understanding is, on one side of the alley was Anna's room, and then on the other side was Carlos. He actually purchased the place so he can be close to her, because it was a forbidden love. And I guess once the father found out that Anna was having this relationship, he actually killed her. And Carlos was witness, and he tried to intervene, but didn't make. He was jumping from one window to another or a patio and didn't make it. And so on the third step of that alley is where he died. So so it was a interesting, thinking of that. It was called El Calle del Beso. So it was a kiss to enjoy a lifetime of luck in love. So a very interesting story. And I mean, it goes with the town and the vibrancy of that town. Now it was humming all the time. Like, it was busy at night. A lot of mariachi bands, a lot of singing. I really enjoyed it. It kind of reminded me of just a town that just wanted to not necessarily party all the time, but just be vibrant and proud of their history, and enjoying the moment. And I think that was fantastic. I really enjoyed Guanajuato. I do have some pictures that I'd like to show, and so stay tuned for that. Okay. All right. At this time, I'm just going to say hasta luego, and that'll be it for now. Okay, and you folks take care and enjoy the slideshow.